Namaste, Periyava Saranam. The great cruelty of dowry. If our being spendthrifts and inducing others to follow the same way and become debtors is wrong, then not spending anything ourselves but putting another person to heavy expenses on our account and making him a debtor is more wrong. We should call it a sin. A number of families having fallen into debts on account of dowry and ostentatious marriages is a shame to our society. I have been tirelessly telling that importance should be given to Vedic rituals and expenses should be reduced to the minimum and marriages should be conducted without ostentation and in a simple way. But those who listen to me are rare. Parents of boys should develop the feeling that demanding dowry and all kinds of presents is a sin. It is because several thousands have to be spent for a marriage. It has come to pass that girls themselves are being sent for jobs. Now, this has become a fashion, and because of this, our Stri Dharma is getting spoiled. It appears to me that so long as several families have been pushed into a situation where they have to borrow over and above their lifetime savings and celebrate marriages, we are unfit to talk about helping others. In the Shastras, several types of giving have been mentioned and glorified. Fan and umbrella in summer, woolen shawls in winter, food during times of scarcity, etc. But what appears to me to be the biggest charity is to stop taking dowry, which is a form of begging by command. The other types of giving are useful only during certain periods. But dowry affects the person, I am talking of the girl's father, for his entire lifetime and our lifestyle according to Shastras and Stri Dharma for the whole future. Therefore, not taking dowry can be considered a kind of permanent charity. On the one side, there are ostentatious marriages. On the other, because there is no money for marriage, girls are being sent to take up jobs and people falling into debt. This situation is not at all justifiable. It is for this reason that a little while ago I had mentioned about Kanyadan Trust, in favor of which insurance policy is to be taken with the condition that half of the maturity amount would go to the trust. That amount would be given by the trustees to the poor parents who are as far as possible want to get their daughter married at a young age. If search for a suitable boy starts only after the marriageable age fixed by the government, it may take a year or two to find a boy. Then the consequences will be, instead of waiting for the marriage, the girl is sent to college. Then the search will start for a boy who is educationally more qualified than her, with a postgraduate degree or PhD. That would take one or more years. Then sending her to a job instead of her remaining at home with high qualification. Then again the search for a boy who is a PhD and also holding a high official status than her. When this goes on, the girl ceases to be a Kanya and becomes older. Instead of that, if the search for a boy starts at least 2 years before the age of consent, the marriage can be celebrated at least as soon as she crosses that limit. When girls remain unmarried beyond a certain age, then there is considerable difficulty in getting them married at all. It is because of this I find it difficult to say it, whether I, occupying the high Peetham of Acharya, should say it in this open assembly. They talk about women who have become delinquent or fallen, etc. This becomes a big blot on our ancient dharma. It may appear that I am asking for substantial amounts by way of grants, insurance, etc. to enable those without means to get their daughters married in time. But what should be considered is that if money is spent in this manner, heavy expenses being incurred in running Seva Sadan, etc., to take care of those about whom I mentioned above can be saved. We have to show sympathy even to those who have tread the wrong path. The greatness of Bhagavan is that he is Patita Pavan, one who purifies the guilty, the sinner. But what is happening now looks like providing incentives to go wrong, tolerating too much and giving protection in Seva Sadan, providing lot of comforts, and those claiming to be modern writers trying to justify wayward behavior in the name of humanism, psychology, etc. Followers of the Mutt should actually engage themselves in countering these tendencies in the matter of Kanyadhan. In this and several areas, it is the middle class who suffer. When the rich conduct ostentatious marriages, they do not suffer any harm. When they start saying, we are conducting simple marriages, society praises them. But when someone helps a very poor person and he conducts the marriage in a simple manner, the society pities him saying, poor man, that is what he can afford. It is the middle class person who is neither here nor there. He has no means to celebrate the marriage in an ostentatious manner, and if he does it in a simple way, he faces criticism. If only he ignores criticism and abuse, and instead of pretending false status, he decides to be simple, everything will become alright. Periyava Saranam.